Just 2 years ago, I had the perfect life. I was making lots of money as an investment banker, and I had a beautiful wife and daughter. But then, I made one mistake and ruined everything. My colleagues and I had just closed the biggest deal of our life, and each one of us would receive a $1 million bonus. So of course, we wanted to celebrate and decided to go to the best club in our city. We ordered champagne for tens of thousands of dollars and got completely wasted. That's when a girl approached me. But it wasn't just some girl, it was the hottest and most gorgeous girl I'd ever seen. It was obvious that she had both breast and butt implants because that wasn't natural. Normally, I would have rejected her because I had a family, but I didn't. I won't make excuses here and blame the alcohol. No, it was solely my fault. I started flirting back, and then we made out. After that, I don't remember anything. I just somehow woke up alone inside my hotel room. I couldn't remember anything and called one of my buddies. I asked him what had happened last night, and he said, "Dude, bro, you just picked up the hottest girl in the whole city. Respect, man." He sent me a few pictures of me making out with that girl, and I knew I had completely messed up. I had betrayed my wife, the one person I loved more than anything else in this world. I wanted to tell her the truth, but would she forgive me? I wasn't sure. I only knew that she would be devastated. She was 7 months pregnant with our second child. If I told her the news, she would be so stressed and worried that it would have a negative effect on the baby. That's why I decided not to tell her about me cheating on her until the baby was born. But then I received a call. The person said he was working for the bank Goldman Sachs and that they were interested in hiring me. They said they wanted to meet up for an interview at a fancy restaurant the next day. Those were great news, because if you work as an investment banker and get a job offer at a different bank, it normally comes with a salary increase of 20 to 40%. But when I took a seat inside the restaurant, the same hot girl I had made out with at the club sat down next to me. Wow, she looked stunning. But then she put an envelope on the table and pulled out several photos of her and me making out and other stuff inside my hotel room. Gosh, so I had actually brought her to my hotel room and slept with her. I felt terrible, and I immediately knew I was being extorted. Then the woman said, $500K or your pregnant wife will find out what we did together. If you involve the police, your family will regret it badly. Oh my God. How did they know about my pregnant wife? She had no social media accounts or anything like that. It meant that those criminals had followed me to my home and watched my family. This was seriously scary. But I kept my poker face and said I would think about it. The woman said 24 hours, gave me a card with her phone number on it, and left the restaurant. Gosh, I was in so much trouble. In the end, I decided to pay them the money because I didn't want my pregnant wife to find out what I had done. And $500,000 wasn't that much money for me anyway. But of course, I knew those people could come back any time and extort me again. And that's exactly what they did. Just 3 weeks later, I got another phone call and was told to pay another $500,000 within the next 24 hours, or they would show the photos to my wife. By now, my wife was 8 months pregnant and very weak and exhausted by her pregnancy. If she saw the photos of me sleeping with another woman, I'm not sure if she could have handled it. That's why I almost gave my extortioners the money. But then I thought again. Those were criminals. If I gave them any more money, they would only hurt more people. I've already made enough mistakes. Now it was time to do the right thing. That's why I went to the police and told them everything. Luckily, the criminals that extorted me were amateurs, and it took the police less than a day to catch them. All they had to do was watch a videotape of a camera near the restaurant the woman and I had met. From there, it was easy for the police to figure out where they were living. It turned out that it was a group of 3 people, 1 woman and 2 men. They had probably extorted many other people before, but the police weren't able to find any clear evidence for that. Meanwhile, I went to visit my 8 months pregnant wife inside the hospital. She looked tired but smiled at me when I walked in. I sat next to her and said we needed to talk. I told her I had made a big mistake and asked if she wanted to know about it right now or after the baby was born. She said, "You can tell me now." And I said, "I have slept with another woman." She didn't respond. She just looked sad and disappointed. I continued, "It happened more than a month ago, and I decided it would be best if I told you about it after the baby was born, to avoid making you feel stressed. But then I was extorted with photos and possibly a video of me sleeping with that woman. That's why I changed my mind and decided to tell you about it now." She looked at me and said, "How do I know you would have told me about it if it wasn't for you being extorted?" I responded, "I can't prove that to you." And she said, "Right. Had you told me about your mistake immediately, maybe I could have forgiven you. But now I can't ever trust you again." I was crying because I knew she was right. I had betrayed her and then lied to her. She looked at me and said, "It's over between us. I want you to leave my room, go to our house, pack your stuff, and move out." I nodded and just went home. There really is no happy ending to this story. The people that extorted me went to prison for 5 years each, but this story is not about them, but about how I destroyed my family and my life. I still hope my wife will take me back someday, but it probably won't happen.